Welcome to the 36th meeting of the 35th year of Sugar Land Rotary Club. Good to have you all with us today virtually. We've been meeting now for about 3 months this way. Seems to be working all right. We're going to start with an invocation by Lynn, the pledge by Rick, and the four-way test by Flo. And I think I just mentioned it a second ago, but we are recording this meeting today, so just be aware of that. Chances are we will be sharing it on Facebook later, and I believe Todd has been posting it on YouTube as well. So Lynn, we'll go ahead and get started with you with an invocation, please.
Thanks, President Raleigh. Will you please bow your heads with me? Let us pray together, each one of us, according to our individual beliefs. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. People are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today as Rotarians and citizens may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and may it never be enough. Give your best anyway. For you, in the end, you see, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. Amen.
Thank you, Lynn. Now we will turn it over to Rick for the pledge, and I will hold up a flag for everybody.
Okay.
If y'all can see that, shoot.
So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our great country. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of
America,
and to the republic
for
which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Flo?
All right, let's recite the Rotarian's four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third,
Goodwill
and friendships.
fourth,
will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And the Sugar Land's fifth?
Will it do any good?
Very good. Yes.
Thank you, Flo. All right, and so we do have some guests with us today. Thank you all for joining us. It's going to be a great program. I'm about to turn it over to Lynn. I just want to thank Jennifer Lane, Stuart Jacobson, and Nishad Kermali for joining us today as well. Glad to have you all with us on this very fun day of honoring our first responders. Lynn, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, President Raleigh. Today I have the distinct honor to introduce the City of Sugar Land's Police Chief and Fire Chief during Sugar Land's Rotary's annual First Responders Lunch honoring Michael Gamble and Tommy Holliday. Little did we think that we would all be together virtually among a COVID-19 pandemic where first responders from the fire department are called upon to serve daily. In addition, the neighboring city of Pearland yesterday buried George Floyd next to his mama. His death has inspired demonstrations, riots, and intense political discussion and unrelenting media coverage. We in Fort Bend County are lucky to live in the most ethnically diverse county in the country. So, who to introduce first? The fire chief or the police chief? So I thought I'd flip a coin. Does anybody want to, I've got to find a coin. Hold on. Who's calling it? Okay, I got my coin. Who's calling it? Doug? Heads, Eric. Eric's on the phone. All right, Eric, it's you. Heads?
Yes.
Okay. It's heads.
There we go.
You're introduced first, so you're going to go first. Okay.
Finally.
Chief Robin.
Finally, I get to beat the fire department for something. First of all, thank you, Fire Guys.
Well, wait.
I mean,
Chief
yes.
Robbins, I want to give you a brief introduction first.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so Eric Robbins is a Houston native and has been with the police departments for 27 years, since '92. He originally, prior to joining the police force, he worked with the Department of Criminal Justice as a corrections officer. He came up through the ranks and holds a Master's Peace Operations Certificate and has been the recipient of the 100 Club Officer of the Year and many other, is a member of the National Organization for Black Law Enforcement, as well as many other organizations. He's held command roles during Katrina and Rita, and was in charge during a U.S. presidential visit to the city of Sugar Land. He enjoys mentoring and speaking to young adults and teenagers, specifically males, about making good choices and setting career goals. He's married with 2 boys. Please welcome Police Chief Eric Robbins.
Hey.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that kind of introduction. You guys look wonderful. I'd like to first say hello to my wonderful council members, Councilmember Kamali. I know Councilmember Lane is here, and I'm not sure if another one of my council members, but I do see a lot of friends on here. So thank you guys for just basically acknowledging us and recognizing the police department. It's always wonderful that we get to actually interact and communicate with our community. And in this kind of way, it's really well received. So I just want to first and foremost say thank you. Under these times that we're in, you know, it's not normal to do all these virtual meetings, but I was just telling Detective Gamble here, this is like my 4th virtual meeting this morning. So we constantly doing a lot to just communicate and keep everybody abreast of what's going on. But before I even get started, I just want to acknowledge my friend and partner, Detective Gamble here. He is an outstanding detective. He's been with the department for approximately almost 20 years. So he's got a lot of history here. And just without further ado, he is our Officer of the Year for 20, actually it started in 2019. So he's kind of the carryover Officer of the Year for 2020. So when the Rotary Club, actually Lynn contacted me and said she wanted to recognize one of our officers, it was without hesitation Detective Gamble was the guy. And so I just read a little bit about Detective Gamble. You know, as we know, he's been with the department for a while, but some of the things that he's done, you know, this is actually words coming literally from his supervisors that talk about him, but he's done an outstanding job managing his caseload. He works in criminal investigations. He handles multiple cases, particularly persons cases of when people get accosted. In one case, he had a missing person case that he was able to get the person all the way from Mexico back to the city of Sugar Land and to the Houston area. But he's done an outstanding job managing those cases. He prides himself in doing a quality job and can always be counted on to represent the police department in a highly professional manner. He's an asset to the division, which is criminal investigations. He volunteers. He comes in early. He stays late. He assists other departments. He's assigned actually to the property crimes unit, but he carries a heavy caseload. He's very productive. And like I talked about earlier, he had a Rotary case where a juvenile fled to Europe, and then he was basically able to work with the Honduran officials and the Honduran gang officials to actually locate this person. So he's been instrumental in a lot of different things. He's always around to help us out. He goes above and beyond. Some of those things are just a few of the things that he's done, but he's actually, I don't know if you guys noticed, but his grandfather, who recently passed away, was our former mayor, Mayor Lee Duggan, for our city. So he is a true asset to our department. He's got a lot of history, a lot of knowledge. If you talk to him, just recently, last week, as a matter of fact, we had an officer killed in the line of duty, a Fort Bend County constable. It was very sad, very tragic incident that happened. But Officer Gamble was contacted to actually go out to the funeral and play the taps for that funeral, and he done an outstanding job. It has actually been, I've received multiple compliments on his level of commitment to the family and just his dedication to law enforcement. And I think we are honored to say that we have Detective Gamble in our police department. So, and with that, I guess, is it my time to do anything more, Lynn, or what is it that you want me to do now?
How about giving the award to him?
How about I give the award to him? How about that? So on behalf of the Rotary Club, I want to, I'm gonna see if you guys can see this. Oh, well, it's not broke. We want to present this award to Detective Michael Gamble.
Thank
I don't know if you guys can see it.
No,
but
no,
it's actually
no.
here.
Hold it up.
You see it now?
No.
It may not.
It wants to disappear into the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, change your background.
Let me see if I can change the background.
There you go.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you
Congratulations.
very much.
It's hard to see, but it is a beautiful award. And again, I just want to say thank you to the Rotary Club, Detective Gamble. He's truly deserving of this award. And thank you guys, all of you guys, for y'all support, appreciation. All of my friends in there, from Mary to Marvin and lots of you guys, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to introduce Chief Doug Boker. He also has been with the fire department since 1992, which is the same year Chief Robbins joined the police department. He rode on a fire truck for the first 20 years prior to being promoted up the lines. He's passionate about customer service and education. He even spearheaded Fired Up 5K Todd, where 700 runners were ran. He also has done a lot with assisted living facilities, and hopefully, which affect the quality of life of the elderly in Sugar Land, and hopefully will be able to continue those. His education is extensive. He holds a bachelor's arts from Western Illinois, Yale, Illinois. That's where I'm from. And Doug is also married to his high school sweetheart, and they have 3 children. Please help me in welcoming Police Chief Doug Boker.
Well, hello. It's about the 100th time that I've been promoted to police chief in my introductions.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Eric is a good guy to try and model yourself after. We have a very good police department and a really good police chief. And my congratulations to Officer Gamble. I did ride the fire truck for 20 years. I lived in a fire station for over 20 years. And some cops, they come to use the facilities at the stations, and some of the cops, you're like, oh darn, it's him again. And Gamble is always the guy you're like, hey, cool, he's coming to visit us, kind of cool off. He serves the public very well, and he was a joy to be on our side of the transaction with.
Always has cool boots on.
Yeah, and the motorcycle cops have the coolest boots. So
Thank you, Chief.
Congratulations to Gamble. So kind of a funny story. Fire department doesn't have an employee of the year currently. When we were approached with this, we've always run our employee of the year January to January. And this year, our Citizens Fire Academy Alumni Association is hosting the first annual Firefighters Ball. And so we thought it was a good time for us to kind of rebrand ourselves and make that our awards ceremony. And so we restructured our award program. So we won't have an employee of the year until September this year. And so a couple of plugs. If you haven't been to Citizens Fire Academy, we invite you to participate. You'll learn about your fire department and how it works. And then secondly, if you don't have plans September 11th, we are going to have a get-together out at Safari, Texas for the first annual Firefighters Ball. And by then, hopefully all the social distancing and COVID scare will be behind us, and we'll have a good time. So in lieu of that, what I did want to do is recognize one of our employees who has gone over and above. And so I know Lynn started the meeting by saying that, you know, COVID has required a few different things out of municipal employment, especially in this fire department. We go to known COVID positive patients every day. We transport them in our ambulances. We treat them with respect and dignity and the care that we would want our loved one to be cared for. And we do that while protecting our crews and making sure that the next customer has a clean ambulance to get into. And so that in and of itself has been quite a challenge. Couple that with, as Chief Robbins was talking about, the loss of the police officer for Constable Precinct 4. This fire department was involved with that, and we had to have people assist with that funeral. We deployed, the governor hit us with some orders to go test every nursing home in Texas, and this fire department stepped up and we completed testing of all the nursing homes in Fort Bend County last week. And then finally, we had an ambulance in Pearland yesterday doing our part to assist in supporting Pearland and our regional RAC in the funeral for George Floyd. So we continue to be pulled in about 101 different directions. And one of the things that keeps us together is Tommy Holliday. And so I'm joined with Tommy. He joined our fire department 19 years ago. He's been a lieutenant for 12 years, and he's a really good lieutenant. He's probably one of our best lieutenants, but what makes him stand out is how he has deployed throughout the state and run planning departments in some high profile incidents. And I have just a short list, but when we stand up an emergency operations center, we bring in some command staff to help run things. And the planning section is probably the most crucial area, perhaps even more crucial than the incident commander at times, because without a planning section, there's no movement. And so Tommy is a planning section chief, and he's done this for this city with great regularity, but also he's deployed to Hurricane Dolly. He ran the Magnolia wildfire. He deployed for the Southeast Texas Fire Complex. He deployed through Ike, TIFMAS deployments to Crystal Beach and Jamaica Beach during hurricanes. The San Marcos flood last year, he went and ran the stayed on with Type 1 team there. And then most recently, he was moved to College Station to run the planning section for the state response to the wildfires last year. So he's highly sought after. We're very lucky to have him here in our midst, to where we just pull him off a fire truck and put him into our planning department. Everybody else has to call and ask us for him. So we're really lucky to have him. And so I wanted to take the chance to recognize his efforts, just as he has so many times before. He left shift work, so he's used to working 48 hours on and 24 or 96 hours off. He's been a day walker, as we call people that work during the day, which is very foreign to shift workers. It's not pleasant, by the way. And so for 3 months, he's been working at City Hall in our Emergency Operations Center, being the glue that keeps our plan together. And so I wanted to recognize his efforts and what he's done for this department and what he's done for the city, but largely for what he's done for our community at large. So Darren got a nice plaque because he's the police officer of the year. And I told Tommy he didn't get a firefighter of the year plaque because he's not the firefighter of the year. But what he doesn't know is that he does have a plaque. It just doesn't say firefighter of the year. And so let's see if, how about if it goes against,
It's the blue shirt.
there. Now you can kind of see it there. It just says Emergency Operations Center Special Recognition during COVID-19 pandemic. Sugar Land Rotary congratulates Tommy Holliday 2020. And it's a well-deserved accolade, and I appreciate you guys recognizing Tommy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job, Doug. Congratulations, Tommy.
Congratulations, Tommy.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
I also want to just recognize also Councilmember Stuart Jacobson. I didn't see his name earlier, but thank you guys again for everything y'all have done for us.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here today.
Mhm.
Congratulations. Lynn, did you have anything else? You're muted.
No, I think we were going to, I know that I noticed that Michelle has come into the meeting. I think she's there with her husband, John. And I know I wasn't sure if she had something to say or not. She's still here.
Michelle?
So, okay, I'm unmuted. Well, first I want to congratulate both of the honorees. It's well-deserved leadership, Chief Robbins, Chief Boker. So thank you guys and congratulations. So basically, I was asked to say something about what's going on in the state of our country right now. And I was kind of like, well, why me? I mean, aren't we all going through something? And I thought it was not really appropriate to have that conversation today in the short amount of time that we have. I don't want to overshadow the people that we're honoring today. So I think what we might want to do as a club is take a business meeting and really sit down and have some discussion. And I don't know if we want to do that with a speaker, or we just want to do it with ourselves and amongst our, I think that would be a more productive conversation and an important conversation that we all need to have. So personally, I'm saddened as, the daughter of a police officer, as the wife of a white retired police officer, as the mother of 2 Black boys. I'm broken in so many different pieces. It's a difficult place that we're in today, but I think it's an opportunity for us to move forward and change, really, really change. So I would love for us to have that conversation.
Thank you, Michelle. Words from the heart. Really appreciate your insight. Moving on to some other club business, I would like to now invite birthday boy Todd to give us our Rotarian of the Month.
Thanks, President Raleigh. And congratulations again to all the honorees today. This is my last month awarding the Rotarian of the Month, and the recipient is well deserving of this honor. Let me tell you a little bit about our Rotarian of the Month if you were not able to be in last week's or last meeting. This month's Rotarian of the Month is active community member. This Rotarian is a graduate from Xavier University with the distinguished honor of magna cum laude, and the University of Cincinnati Law School with the distinguished honor of summa cum laude. This Rotarian has 2 daughters, 1 son, all very successful in things they do. This Rotarian is dedicated to the family, friends, and service to the community. This Rotarian grew up in Cincinnati suburbs. This Rotarian has 2 brothers, and this Rotarian attended an all-girls Catholic school. This Rotarian enjoys working out. Every day is one routine or another. The Rotarian of the Month is doing online workouts since the club they normally instruct at is currently closed. This Rotarian also likes cycling and spin biking. The Rotarian of the Month likes travel, hiking in Colorado, tasting wine, watching movies, and reading books, and is an avid baseball fan. One thing that most people maybe not know about this Rotarian is an Ironman finisher. So if you could please help me in congratulating this month's June's Rotarian of the Month, Margie Conley.
Congratulations, Margie.
Thank you. Thank you, Todd.
Well earned. Okay, so this is getting a little bit sad. This is June 10th today. I have 20 more days to preside as president, and then I get to turn it over to Todd. So we are rapidly coming to an end of this year, this Rotary year. So for one of the last times, I want to open it up for our service chairs in case anybody has anything to share. That would be to Darla, Dr. Doyle, Allison, Ward, Lynn again, And then also Margie, if you had an update for us on our COVID-19 projects. Opening up to all of you, feel free to speak up if you have something to say. Margie, I guess you're up. You're muted though.
There it is. Okay, sorry. I've got all these people on the screen and I'm trying to unmute. Yes, okay. I would like to share my screen with y'all if I can. Let's see. Not that one. Well, let me try again. Let me try. Well, I can't. Okay, I'm taking up too much time. So I would just like to say to everybody that we do have new yard signs available for you guys to purchase and put in your yards or put in your businesses that honor all the frontline workers, including police and fire, and including delivery guys. I mean, would you like to say thank you to that Amazon guy that's at your door every day like me? Or those kind of things. So we've got this yard sign, $25. We can charge it to your account. If you have neighbors or friends who would like one, they can pay through Venmo at Sugarland Rotary on the Venmo app, or you can collect the money from them, and you can get it to Janice or Raleigh or Mitch to get to them the money for the sign. And the signs are just meant to help us raise some money to help those that we want to support during the COVID-19 crisis. We've been doing things like donating masks to different organizations so that their volunteers and workers can wear these Sugarland Rotary face masks. We've donated to Meals on Wheels, to the ARC of Fort Bend, to the police, to the fire. We got to see Chief Robbins, we get to see Chief Boker, and deliver some masks to them. You've seen the pictures on Facebook of that, where we donated some to them for their frontline workers. So the frontline workers thank you signs are designed to just offer our thanks to them for doing what they do. And if you want to see one, Mark is going to post one of the signs on Facebook so that y'all can see it on our Facebook page, since I'm technologically challenged here today. And just let me know if you want one. We can, like I said, we can charge your account or whatever. The funds will go for good causes, and you will be able to thank your frontline workers in your own front yard or your business. That's all I got.
Great, thank you, Margie. And here,
Raleigh, just quickly,
that's our mask. If anybody wants one, let me know.
Raleigh?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Ward.
I just want to say something quickly. There was a meeting this weekend of the 5890 district for youth exchange, and after much discussion, it was determined that for the year of 2021, for this current year coming up, that we will have no outbound or inbound exchange students, as we have we're not sure exactly what's going to happen with other countries, and it's just not, it doesn't seem feasible. We will take it up again next year for both short-term and long-term outbound and inbound. It's still possible to do virtual exchanges, and that will happen. But for this club, we'll not be doing anything for Todd's year. So just to make sure everybody knows, and we're sad about it, but there's just no way to get it done for this next year. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you, Ward. Yeah, when I saw that email, it was disappointing, but not necessarily surprising. So, anyone else in the service chair world want to talk? Gone. Okay. Well, tell you what, guys and gals, why don't you all unmute yourselves for a moment and join me in singing happy birthday to our soon-to-be president, Todd Breton. And please, for the love of all good things, don't make me sing alone.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
All right.
We want President Raleigh to sing it.
I'll join you. All right.
All right.
Happy
Happy
birthday
to
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday
you.
to you.
Ta-ta-ta.
Happy birthday, dear Todd. Happy birthday
to
you.
Many more.
This is being recorded, right?
Yes.
I hope not.
Yeah. Turn that off.
Oh, that was made me turn red. So.
Yeah, me and you both, Todd. Happy birthday.
I would
Great.
like to say thank you so much to all the visitors that joined us today, and to our fire department and police department. Thank you so much for making time to join us so that we can honor you. And I know this is awkward times, especially singing happy birthday to your friends on Zoom. But thank you for pushing forward through it so that we can recognize you in these new times. So thank you all for joining us today.
Yeah,
Raleigh.
agreed. Thank you, Flo. Yes, sir.
I just
Yes.
want to
Guys, have a great day.
I got a very nice thank you note from Brookdale Senior Living on Commerce Green, thanking us for the hand sanitizers that were delivered. So very,
good.
very appreciative, signed by their whole staff. So pretty neat.
Nice. Thank you, Jeff.
Raleigh,
All right.
can I mention real quick about a 5K? Sorry.
Yes, go ahead, Todd.
So let me just go ahead and share this screen here. One of the fundraising efforts that we're going to be doing this year is a series of 5K races that kind of follow up to our run that we had in February. The next 3 races are going to be virtual. Our first one is going to take place at the end of July. Our website is up and running at Sugarland Rotary 5K. You can walk or run it during this time. If you complete it and show proof that you completed it, you will get a medal that looks just like this here on the screen. And this is, since we're not going to have Fall Classic, we're going to be working heavy on these races to raise the necessary funds to fulfill our, hopefully be able to continue to support our local organizations. So that's all I had, Raleigh.
Got it. Thank you, Todd. And I thought somebody had wanted to ask a question. Who was that?
Oh, it's me, Ricky. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'd actually like to first thank both the police and the firefighters for coming, and thank. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for taking your time, and I can only imagine how difficult it is to, go out there and put your lives on the line to help each and every, all of those in the community. I did have one quick question. That's something that so I know for the majority of police, they are law-abiding, they're phenomenal. But my question has to, I love the fact, for example, that Fort Bend County has, the community outreach with the police and the firefighters that kind of show, those of us in the community, the people behind the badge, not just the badge. And I think that's admirable. But my question has more to do with, is there a regulation, at least in place, that if someone is doing something that goes against the rules and regulations, like out in public, is there a rule that the police officers, if they're not following the rules, they can tell their partners, hey, this is not how we're supposed to do something, or, so that those that are, the rule followers don't feel like they're, at risk of their job if they're showing one of their counterparts that are doing something incorrectly?
I'll answer that question. I think what you're asking is, basically the answer is yes. We have a duty to intervene as police officers. If we see another officer doing something that's out of line or out of order, yes, we do have a duty to intervene. Our accountability, we have for every officer, we have a direct supervisor. So anytime there's something that's not being done properly, whether another officer wants to intervene or they want to just literally go to a supervisor and let that supervisor know what's happening. So the answer to your question is yes. And that's something we've been talking about Obviously, what happened in Minneapolis was a tragic incident, and it's something that's going to be discussed, particularly in the court systems for a long time to come. But we have policies. I'm in the process of reviewing my policies now and working with our city manager and the mayor as far as, where we go forward, how we go forward. Our police department, we believe, we have, policies that give us guidance, but, there's always things that we can do better. So we're going to continuously be committed. We're an accredited agency. We do things. We've had management studies that come in and tell us about procedures of what we can do better. So we're committed to continuously looking and reviewing at all our policies and procedures. And we want to give the officers the right guidance, especially with our newer officers. We got a lot of new officers this year. So we want to make sure that they understand that, what's right and when they should intervene and when they should be able to just speak up and say, something should be done properly.
Got it. Thank you, Chief Robbins. Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thanks for everything.
A lot's going to change. A lot's going to change. Todd, would you mind? Who had a question?
I do, Michelle.
Oh, okay.
Just a statement. I wanted to thank my guest, City Councilwoman Jennifer Lane, who always shows up when I ask her to. So thank you for coming. And then I had a question for the chief. I think Johnny was wondering if he could have his job back. Like,
I don't know what she's talking about. I'm retired.
Hey, Johnny, man, I see you over there. We still have some openings.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, for all you guys that's listening right now, next week, Johnny probably already let you guys know, but there will be a retirement ceremony for Johnny Bauer and a couple of others, Luke Jones and Assistant Chief Scott Schultz. We didn't get a chance to do a proper send-off, obviously, because of the whole COVID thing. So next Thursday, I believe it is, if I'm not right. Next week, we're having an event, retirement ceremony for them. It will be at the Reese Technical School right there on University. So hopefully, Johnny, I'm hoping I'm not overstepping by inviting the entire Rotary Club to your event. But
No. Too late.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great time, and just to really give you guys a proper send-off. Johnny Bauer, he was one of my mentors and one of my actual trainers when I first started. So we got a lot of history together, and I'm proud of him. I'm glad he's going off that next chapter, but he's still part of our family. So I just want to let you guys know, hopefully you all can make it to the event and just give him a proper send-off.
Thank you, Chief.
thanks, Chief. Yeah. Thanks for making that happen. It means a lot.
Yeah.
President, I have a quick comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Michelle, for sharing your feelings. I look forward to participating in further discussions on the subject. And thank you for the Rotary for putting this together, and for everything that you do for the city of Sugar Land. And for my chiefs, your leadership is just so important, and I support you 100%. And for Gamble and Holiday, congratulations. And I just want to ensure you on my stance is I will continue to support the safety of the residents and our law enforcement for the city of Sugar Land. You have my support 100%. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Ron?
Yes, sir.
Would it be appropriate to say something about our program for next week?
Sure, please do.
It's a very exciting time. Today we did something very special in honoring some people that surely deserve it. The COVID, though, has taken a real toll on businesses with the shutdown. And next week we're going to have the Deputy Director of the Small Business Administration talking to us about the most recent legislation and how it's going to be introduced that is designed to help small businesses right here in Sugar Land to see that they survive. Not only is it important for our Rotary Club, which is a business-oriented organization, but it's important that we be prepared to tell others what we learn next week, because we're going to learn the ins and outs about how businesses can apply for a grant or for a loan most of which can be forgiven, to stay in business. And we all have friends who are in business for themselves who may not have the time because they're running themselves ragged. And it's an important program for us to understand. Just yesterday, the Commissioner's Court approved a $22 million amount of money that's going to be given out in $10,000 increments to small businesses in our community, in our county. And knowing how to, and it's a first come, first serve kind of a thing. It's important that people who have struggled for the last 3 months know how to apply for that and do anything they can to kind of get through till we can return to some sort of normalcy. And so that's our program for next week. You'll find that these are very interesting people. It will not be a dry, dull, boring kind of an event at all. You're going to be learning a lot about how we can help ourselves and our friends who are in business.
Great. Thank you, Marvin. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that next week as well. Todd, would you like to tell us a little bit about upcoming event?
Yes, Darla's not able to speak. She texted me and said her mic is not working. Just a reminder, Darla sent out, sent out invitations for this year's installation, which will take place on June 23rd. It will be in person, but there'll also be an option to watch it online if you're not comfortable with going in person. But if you did have not responded, yes or no, if you could do that so we can give Safari, Texas as close to an accurate number as possible. But again, it's on June 23rd, starts at 5:45, and it sure is going to be a fun event. I've got a couple fun things planned, so it should be fun.
Great.
Get a invitation.
Okay.
What was that?
I'll get with Darla. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and if anybody didn't receive that invite for some reason, maybe your spam folder gobbled it up or what have you, feel free to reach out to me or Todd or anybody and just let us know if you're planning to come, and we'll make sure you get on the list. All right, and so here, just to have a little bit of fun, every year, most people don't realize this, the incoming Rotary International president, not me, the president of Rotary Worldwide, comes up with the theme and comes up with, in my case, a theme that's right behind me that looks a whole lot like COVID-19. So in that spirit, Rotary connects the world, apparently via Zoom. So I'm glad you could all join us today. Just again, want to say congratulations to our fire department and police. It's so good to have you all. So good to have our city council people and just extra guests. I see a lot of faces that I've seen from time to time, but don't see every week. So good to have you all with us. Does anybody have anything else for the good of Rotary? I guess not. So with that, I will ring the bell and we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.